Hi, in this video I'm going to go over LensQuote's answer to the contact lens rule update that stipulates that we all have to keep record that the patient said they received their prescription for 3 years. And so we build a feature within LensQuote to handle that for free for you, and we would do all the storage of the PDFs to handle that for you as well. So I'm going to go over how that tool is used within LensQuote and then how you might approach it in your own office. So starting off right at the end here. So what we did is we built this button in a few places, but the goal was to have the prescription verification happen after you've gone ahead and quoted the patient for their purchase that day. That's a pro tip. I'll come back to it, but just know that the first place or the best place to probably do it is at this point, though there is a button elsewhere to do it. When it comes to options of how this works, you simply click the prescription verification and it pulls in the patient's name. And then you have technically 4 different ways to get it. You can, if you're using a tablet, you can have them simply sign off right onto a tablet. They hit they understand and it generates the PDF and puts it within LensQuote. You can access it at any time and it sorts them by date and name. And then you can also do the old-fashioned print PDF, which puts the onus on you to scan those or save them. But then you lose some of the benefit of us doing that for you. And then lastly, there's a contact list. So you can send either a text message or an email, and it'll actually send the exact same thing as the tablet version of the verification that you just saw. Now, what if they refuse to sign it? Well, I'm going to go over a kind of a process that really works well. But if they refuse to sign it, LensQuote actually goes out and in 2 consecutive days reaches out and asks them again to sign. If they do not sign, this is how we keep you compliant, then we document that as a refusal to sign, and it is signed as such for your office. And that is written into the rule that they may decline to do so. They may decline their refusal, and then it'll sign it for them automatically. Therefore, you don't have to go back and find who signed and who didn't. So now, where do these signatures go? I will show you that. So in Office Settings, there is a tab for prescription verifications, where you can actually see the one that I just did right here with patient name, and I signed OK. You can also if you ever want to, you can change the message. We have a boilerplate message that's very standardized and fulfills the requirements. However, if you want a custom message, you can change this here and it'll replace that text. So what are some best practices on how to use this? Well, for one, what I recommend is always done. So one thing that the contact lens rule does not specify is when the verification takes place. They state that at the time of the end of the exam, they must receive their at the completion of their contact lens fitting, they must receive their contact lens prescription. And generally at that same time, they would receive their verification that you would have to track. However, that doesn't say anything about, okay, but we're in the sales process. So pro tip number 1 is I will go through my standard sales process. At the end, then they get their prescription and they also get the prescription verification. Of course, at any time they could decide not to, which is why that's perfectly allowable. Number 2 is that when it comes to the prescription verification process itself, you want to phrase it as a way, or a smoother way is to phrase it as, look, this is something you signed to receive your prescription. So it puts it as an added benefit to them, not something that they're doing for your office. Because if there's one thing that'll make this stand out more and accomplish the goal of what the contact lens sellers wanted to do, which is interfere with our sales process, it would be to say, okay, here's your prescription, now sign that I gave that to you. It's very awkward, it's very confusing to patients. So if you flip the script on that and say, here, I just sent a link to your phone, go ahead and sign that so I can give you your contact lens prescription. Here's your contact lens prescription. that feels much more natural to patients. So that's my other pro tip. Feel free to send any questions our way, help@lensquote.com, and we'll be happy to answer them. And good luck in our implementation on April 1st.